Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show. Connected. All right, guys, we're live. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show, episode 215. You're here with me, Sparky, and no Bethany today. She's playing hooky. So we got Goose as a replacement. He's a pretty solid replacement. She's gonna be super jealous. You kind of smell like pee, though, bud. You got a little pee on you? Yeah? Excite pee? Okay. That's the world of dog training. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. Am I live on the right side?
Yes, they're telling our viewers that we're live.
Okay, cool. You guys can throw your questions in the chat. If I'm answering any of your questions, on screen and you have a follow-up, I'm always going to prioritize the people responding to my answers because I like the back and forth. It feels more personal. So if you guys have a question, throw in the chat. I will eventually get to them because I only got 3 sent-in questions. You're not going to last long, are you, bud? You guys, no, because I see dogs coming in. All right, this is from Tams92. Thank you for the information. I have a question. Our pups are 7 months old. Do you think it's time to let them roam free in the house at night? They have a doggy door. Tams, I have a question for you. What do they do at night? What are you gonna do? Okay, he's done.
That's it.
He's done. That's it. I don't have puppy patience. In my household, that dog would go on place. He's very cute. But when I get fussiness on couch, my next transition is to put them on place with food and do redirection work to help them settle. If they can't, then usually they're going to go straight. Or I'll do training and exercise if they're overstimulated. All right, back to the question. Do you think it's time to let them roam free in the house at night? They have a doggy door. So my question, this one, is always, what do they do at night? If they're constantly up, roaming around, looking for things to do, getting into things, sniffing, chewing, they're entertained by something at 1 a.m., not ready for it. That's my personal opinion. I have ways of training dogs to do it, though. But if I have a dog just laying on his dog bed, gets up at 2 a.m. to go potty, lays back on his dog bed, doesn't wake me up, it's an easy process, then I'm fine with that. But I would also recommend checking for critters and different predators in your area. We have coyotes that can jump 9-foot fences and scale an 11-foot fence. They do it in PV. They have to get special rollers that when their paws touch it, they fall back off. So if you have predators in your area, your dog could be at risk to that predator if they're going out at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I actually lost both of my guinea pigs at night one time because cats came in the yard and got them, and my brain didn't even conceptualize that we have predators in our area that will go for small animals. So it is something that I always think about. Let's talk about the training that will help you guys get there a little bit sooner. If I have a dog that's in the room with me, I'm no longer using a crate. I'm still using a dog bed. I usually put that dog bed next to where I am or at the other side of the room, depending on where I'm working them. And then I'm going to put a harness on the dog and I'm going to clip a leash to that harness and I'm going to do it tethered in the room that I'm in. So they can't be in a different room. They have to be in your room, in your space. So you can see them and watch them. You don't want any choking hazards or wrapping the leash around. And then when they get up and start kind of moving around and trying to leave that space at 2 a.m., the reason we do it is because it's going to wake you up. If you wake up and you see the puppy moving around, that could be them needing to go potty. So you could take them out for a potty, bring them back in, clip them in. I want you to know, though, that if you do that, you are going to start triggering a midnight 2 a.m. potty that if they were in the crate, wouldn't even have the concept of because they're not moving around. There's no space to roam. And even on a 4, 5, 6 foot leash where they're tethered, they can still go 6 feet back and forth. So movement is what creates potty. If they're already sleeping really well, you move to this technique to teach them to settle on the bed, and they start needing to do 2 or 3 potties in the middle of the night, then that is a sign that they're moving around too much. Not ready for it. You got to build your way up to it still. A few more months of crate. Usually, I think she said 8 months old, 7 months old. To be honest, I'd probably do overnight crating until about 12 months old. That's my personal preference. That's what I've done with all my own dogs. And then I start transitioning them out of crate next to my older dogs so they kind of learn how to just stay settled and fit into the pack. So my opinion, if you're getting good calm nights already, they're already hanging out, sleeping all throughout the night, try the bed option with the back tie, see how it goes. Don't do flat collar. We don't want them to hold pressure and start choking themselves. Harness, more safe. Do you have any extended questions yet?
Not yet.
Alrighty. From Madison, I need help. Can you explain what to do when people come into the home? When he is home with just me, he's very good, usually pretty calm. But as soon as I have someone come into the apartment, he goes haywire. Even when I have him on the leash and step on it to prevent him from jumping, he will actively choke himself out for a long duration of time. He doesn't calm down. He won't listen because he's too excited. You are not ready to have a dog out of the crate when people come in. So this is my training. When I'm out doing potties, if I have a dog still really pulling hard towards people, nothing that we do lives in a vacuum. Nothing lives in a bubble. So whatever you do inside is going to affect your outside. Whatever you do outside is going to affect your inside. When I'm doing potty, so again, I'm not talking about your friend being over. I'm talking about what you need to do leading up to your friends coming over. We need to start working on training. That's going to help our dogs settle down a little bit. There's something called patterning. Let's go work. It's basically pressure on. When they pull, we step back, wait for them to kind of look and check in. When they do, we offer a treat, we turn and walk away. That's something you do when you're inside your home, inside your apartment, and you don't have any distractions. You have focus. You're trying to teach your puppy how to feel tension, turn, and come back to check in. It's a gradual progression. I'll do that inside for 2 weeks. Then I'll do it in my backyard, front yard. Maybe for you, your parking garage, like where you park your cars, a little bit more open space, less dog distractions, more people distractions. I'm going to gradually build up until I can do this in the driveway or up and down a local like Park Street where she sees dogs, he sees dogs, people, and I can redirect away. When I've gotten that to a point to where I can redirect, make a turn, and my dog will follow me and move away from the distraction, then I'm ready to start trying it in the apartment. My setup when dogs come over is I have dog in crate for about 30 minutes until they settle down. If I hear barking for the whole 30 minutes, it's going to turn into an hour. If I hear barking for the whole hour, it's going to turn into an hour and a half. It means you have some pretty bad separation anxiety, and you're not going to benefit your puppy by bringing them out and letting them say hello because they're barking. You're just going to feed into the separation anxiety. If it's as bad as what you're saying it is, it might even be valuable for you to have your puppy in the crate for the next few times that people come over. So she gets you, he or she, he. When he gets used to just being calm when people are over because he has no exposure, no ability to greet them. You're starting from more of a neutral space. Then you can turn it into this. They've been there for 15, 20 minutes. Your dog's been quiet for 15 of that 20 minutes. I go into the room. I say, hey, I'm going to bring the puppy out. Just do me a favor. We got to kind of treat this like training. Just sit over here. Don't look, talk, or touch the puppy. I know it's really cute. I know it's going to be really hard. Trust me, I know. And then you bring out your puppy on leash, on whatever they're using. You have your food, your pouch. You've skipped the breakfast because you're going to train for breakfast. And then when your puppy sees the person, you haven't even left the bedroom yet. He's already pulling, barking, whining, crying, overstimulated, excited. Turn, you're back in the bedroom, and you're going back and forth in the bedroom until you start getting some focus. You can't get focused. You can't get anything from your puppy. Not ready yet. Back to the crate. Another 20, 30 minutes. You got to get some of that calm, settling energy out, bring them back out, work through it again. And if it still doesn't work, then you need to do this before your friend ever comes over. You got to get a 20, 30-minute training session in where your puppy is exhausted, actually able to go in the crate because they're exhausted. You've already done 15, 20 minutes of walk, so they're physically a little bit more tired. And then maybe you did 10 minutes of existing outside of the crate next to you before the friend got there, and then 10 minutes before they get there, I'm just putting them in the crate. We have to check all of our boxes. If we have crazy energy, we have crazy emotional energy, crazy mental energy, we're not going to be able to get them to settle. It just doesn't happen. So we have to make sure we check all our boxes before being able to get a calm dog. Try all the techniques, see how it goes. Let me know. Come back next week. All right, next one. Monkey boy. When I put my puppy in his kennel, he licks the bars and whines the whole time he's in there. And we've tried everything. He's been doing it since he was 4 months old, and he's 8 months old now. Monkey boy, you got some anxiety with your pup. Try some patterning in and out of the crate. So crate represents going in for a prolonged period of time. Some dogs can have a lot of anxiety in the crate. It's not necessarily separation anxiety. Most times it's boundary frustration, like boundary anxiety. All right, so where do I want to start with this one? Let's start with just the crate part. You're going to bring your dog out of the crate. His instinct when he comes out is he's going to be out for a couple hours. His instinct when you put him in is he's going to be in there for a couple hours. Let's break that instinct. When I'm bringing the dog out of the crate, I bring him out I get my potty outside, I come back in, and I put the dog in the crate for a treat. If they take it, closed door, pause, open door, pause. They want to come out? No. Close it. And you got to go with the firmness of the dog coming out. They're coming out at 4. You got to close it at 5 so you don't squish them. We don't want them halfway out and the door squishing them. We want that door to move in so they kind of back away from it. This is what creates that settle energy. It's called spatial pressure. When I can do that door 3 or 4 times, they eventually back off. They sit. We can open the door. They wait. I say break or free or okay, or whatever your release word is, and I let them out. They've still got a leash on their harness this whole time. I don't let them out for food on the break because the reward is coming out of the crate, which is where they want to be. And then I turn them around, right back inside, offer a treat if they want it, pause, they try to come out, use the door as a boundary to get them to settle back off and relax. And when you can eventually open that door, they're calm and relaxed going in, they take a treat, break, they come out, they can go back in, take a treat, break, come out. That's when you condition them to actually enjoy being in crate. Crate isn't just something that every dog likes. Some dogs have to be trained how to like it. Food is usually my go-to for that. Now, because I have no other questions yet, and I have nothing else on my paper.
There's one here.
Do I? Yeah, I'm still going to break in this one a little bit. Nothing lives in a vacuum. I mentioned that, right? What that basically means is that your dog being in the crate and not liking the crate, or what is it? Licking the crate door, the anxiety that you're getting, it probably isn't because he doesn't like crate. It's probably because he has separation anxiety towards you guys. So this is something I check for every dog that has a question like this. What do you do when the dog is out of the crate? We have 3 boxes. I just went over in the last question too. Physical exercise, that's like your walk, your play, some kind of mental stimulation, physical stimulation. Training, that's all the things that you guys learn on YouTube. You learn in our online school. You learn on anywhere you're looking. Come, place, sit, down, heel, drop it, leave it, fetch, all that stuff. That's all mental training. Now you have physically a dog that's tired, mentally a dog that's tired. The last window is existence. So that's where we're actually teaching them to be out of the crate and be calm. I'm not giving a lot of affection during this time because I want my dog to look to me for training and confidence, not as the affection giver. I need to be the confidence giver, especially if I'm getting anxiety in the crate. We need to almost rework our relationship a little bit. So when he sees you, it's confidence, ready to work. That's the change I make. So if you were to give affection, do a 4-to-1 ratio. If you gave 20 minutes of training, that gets you 5 minutes of affection. The minute you give affection, if you get any paws touching you, the mouthing starts a little bit, you're like, oh, nope. Back on the ground. I wouldn't even know. I don't even think I'd put him on the couch. I think I'd give affection on the ground if I was going to give it. And it would be right after training, right before your assistance. So you're still giving that 10-minute window for them to settle down before going back in the crate. Now, going back in the crate, you remember their association. They're going in this crate forevermore. So I'm going to put them in, same thing as before, treat when they go in, close door, open, break, release. I'll do 5 in, 5 out. I can even make my training session that day. So we're 10, 15 minutes into our free time window. We've already done the walk. I could make the training going in the crate and out of the crate 5 times in a row. So that becomes his training. And then he spends the next 30 minutes out of the crate. So it's not just the association of going in for long periods of time. The licking should stop pretty quick. If it doesn't, get a little bit of bitter apple. It's not going to help the anxiety of the bitter apple, but it will at least stop the licking. And then as you do more training, you'll start working through the anxiety. You should be getting about 15 minutes of training in for every free time window that your puppy gets out of the crate. Any times that you guys can't train, have the puppy on leash, tether them to your hip, so they're still in follower mode the whole time that they're out.
Good question on Instagram.
Yeah. All right, cool.
6-month-old Cavapoo from Megan.
Let me pull it up. I wasn't ready.
You didn't pull it up.
I didn't pull it up. I didn't pull it up. Bethany reminds me to pull it up usually. All right. I know. I'm right in your guys' face. 6-month Cavapoo. Current crate schedule is 1 hour out and 3 hours in. We notice if she is very active, she starts having accidents after an hour. If she still is out of the crate, is this a good schedule? Yeah, that's a phenomenal schedule. That is literally what 30% of my dogs in this facility are on right now. 3 in, 1 out. You could maybe up the 1 out to 1.5 out, but I think you'll probably get more issues because, like you said, the hour, once you go past that hour, it's nothing that you did wrong. It's nothing that your puppy did wrong. It's like emotional intelligence, emotional maturity. So I have a dog that I'm able to do 15, 20 minutes of walk, another 20 minutes of training, and about 20 minutes of existence on place, which is like picking a designated dog bed for them. And then 15 minutes into that existing, I'm getting some whininess, some occasional barks and like, or they like shoot their head out and bark, like demanding. And I walk up, no, hey, settle down. And they kind of, they back off and they lay back down because there's an emotional authority I brought to the picture. That's strike one of my 3-strike rule. First strike is a verbal, not anger. There's no emotion. It's just, no, settle down. It's very neutral, stoic. It doesn't have to be angry to get a result. It actually gets you the opposite. It adds emotion. It adds energy. After that, my puppy lays down. I'm at the 55-minute mark of free time. I'm like, man, I really want to see if I can get to an hour and 5, an hour and 10. 10 minutes later, it's an hour and 5 minutes, and I get that same bark, and he gets off place a little bit, but I've got it back tied so he can't leave. No, I stand up, I walk in, and I use spatial pressure to back him up, which puts him back on place. I pull out some food, have him sit and down. Break, place, sit down. Break, place, sit down. And after 2 or 3 routines, he went from crazy eyes to locked in, tuned in, focused, in follower mode. I'll get my down. Good. I'll give that treat because I haven't given that treat yet. I'm just using it to lure and build focus. And then eventually I give it when I have focus. Then I go sit back on the couch again. And then there's 5 minutes later. Now we're at like an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. I get that 3rd or 4th bark where it's really loud, but it sounds frustrated. He's not a jerk, guys. He's not being malicious. He's overstimulated. That is a cranky baby. That is a cranky baby crying because they need to go into their nursery, into their crib. So how do we do that? Well, 3rd strike, I'm not going to say no because remember, we never want a negative association to create. I'm going to kind of just, I'm frustrated. I'm a little upset by now. I'm going to fake it till I make it if I need to. Because I'm going to wipe all the emotion out of my tone and off my face and out of my body language. I'm going to calmly walk up, pick up my puppy if I need to, or walk them to the crate if I need to. House, I might have to help them in. Unclip all my stuff, close door, lock cupboard, and walk away. But a lot of people will be questioning this, say, but Sparky, I thought if there's a negative association in crate, then it makes him not like crate. I say, you're absolutely right. Where's the negative association? Well, he barked, so he went to the crate, so he did something bad. Your dog has no idea that bark is bad. Unless you've already taught it, you've already trained it, which is a whole different conversation. You are in the process of learning about your dog and they're learning about you. The bark isn't malicious, it's overstimulation and crankiness. So we put to the crate unemotionally because we're basically saying, hey guys, we've done everything in our power to help you settle. We can't do it anymore. We've done walk, train, existing, playing. We've done everything. Calm down. You won't get it until they have a confined space that they're only able to do a circle in, lay down, and eventually go to sleep. Some dogs actually need a cover over the crate. They need a white noise machine right next to it and a sound machine by the door. They need all these extra facets to help their brain actually turn off and hit REM sleep. And then the next 3 hours is then recuperating, getting ready for the next hour of free time. That's how I grow free time though. I try for an hour and 5, an hour and 10. And if I get to my 3-strike rule, just not ready for it. Can't pat myself on the back for that one because I pushed a little too far. You got to play though. It's always fun to play around with it. Do we have any follow-ups?
I have a follow-up.
What's your follow-up? Ricky's got.
You might have already answered it and I missed it. But if her dog is having accidents at that hour mark and it's going to be out longer, should she just take it out at that hour, or you don't want to take the dog out yet?
Let's see.
It's this one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She's still active. She starts having accidents. I think we need to lock onto the active part, not the hour part.
Yeah.
Why would she? Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Oh, Ricky's good. She manipulated me. I didn't realize.
No.
It was a good way. It was a good manipulation. It's not about her being awake for an hour, him or her being awake for the hour that causes the potty. It is the active, it's the movement. So we're following the window of free time. We've done our 20 minutes. Oh, by the way, how our schedule works is they do the 3 hours in the crate. Right when they come out, that's when they get their potty opportunity. And there is no free access to water for the next hour. They don't need it to the very end of their free time unless you want a ton of potty access. So potty right when they come out, free time, train, walk, play, exist, blah, 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 blah. At the end of that hour, that's where they get their water bowl, but they're not doing a ton of movement except for that first 10 or 20 minutes, the play time, the exercise time. So that's where you might do a 10-minute walk and 10 minutes of fetch in the backyard. If they have to potty on that walk or during that play, they will potty. That's going to be the potty you get from all the movement. But then when you come inside and you're doing training, that's a lot slower. That's nowhere near as quick as fast. When you're doing the existence, that's all downstay on place. I'm hoping that you won't still get the potty accident at the hour, and the need to go potty will be significantly less because you're actually calming their brain and body down by the end of that free time window versus them being amped up and really excitable before going into that crate, which would then possibly cause a potty accident. So I think getting on a tighter schedule with your blocks of free time and with existence, not walk or play, because that teaches them to be crazy by the end of free time. You just have to schedule it maybe a little bit differently.
And that advice is also based on their age, right? Being 6 months versus having an 8-week-old puppy who might need to like have that access.
6-month dog, much older, so different adolescents, they can hold longer. But if we're talking a 6-month-old puppy versus an 8-week-old puppy, I mean, 8-week-old puppies do 45 minutes to an hour of crate time, and they do like 15 to 20 minutes of free time at 8 weeks because their brains shut down very quickly. So yeah, age definitely plays a role. If I had a year-old dog, I might be doing 4 and 2, 4 hours in, 2 hours out. I might do 2 hours in, 2 hours out. As the maturity grows and you lock everything down, all of it changes depending on adolescence and where your dog is during that adolescence. It tells me that your dog, from what I was seeing though, it seems that they're a little bit emotionally immature, even at 6 months old. Most dogs are, if I'm being honest. Like, it's pretty normal now. Focus more on the obedience in the middle, and then use that obedience to settle him down on place. What I mean by that is if I'm doing training and I'm doing, like, let's say, place pattern. If no one knows what that is, you can check YouTube or you can join our online school. Truly, that's probably the best place you can find it because it's all the same stuff I'm talking about. And what it looks like is place with food, sit or down, pause, take a breath, because most dogs don't realize that good doesn't represent energy. Good represents calm. Good. I'm not going to treat this. Food. They're like, oh, shoot. If I give energy, I don't get food when I settle down. I get food. This is one of the easiest techniques you can do, one of the easiest routines. Place, sit down, pause until you get a moment of settle. You can do a sit if they can't do it down comfortably. You get that moment of breath being released. Food. I'm not even holding food yet. It's still in my pouch on my hip. When I see that breath, then it's treat. Come. Place, sit down. Good. Pause. Take a breath. They take a breath. Treat. And I'll do that 15, 20 minutes. It is amazing how good this technique is. 20 minutes is like, you'll kill your dog's energy. They don't have any by the end of it. It's so mentally exhausting, not overstimulating, exhausting. It uses it in a good way that by the time I'm done working on this, you know how I'm usually done? I put them on place. I say, come. And they're like on their side, laying down like, nope, we're good. We're done. I'm like, oh, you're exhausted? Great. Let's move on to our existence now. I'll pull up a dining room chair next to that cot because he knows I'm comfortable on the couch. That won't work. Pull up a dining room chair, sit on the edge of it, not the back of it. You know, I'm too comfortable. Right on the edge. And I'm alert. I'm ready to go. And then when they try to get off, I'll move in and body block them leaving. So I'll put my body in front. I'll ask them for a sit when they kind of settle a little bit. Good food, and I'll move back to the front. I'll kind of wait about. And every 15, 20 seconds, I have a handful of kibble because I have their meal. I have breakfast, lunch, or dinner in my hand, in my pouch. Good. 5 or 10 kibble pieces that they eat out the palm of my hand. Come back over here. I decide, you know what, I'm going to feel a little frisky. Turn on the TV. New stimulation, they're staring at it. They look at me to check in. Good. Get full of food. So I'm conditioning them to settle. Place pattern is just one of the easiest ways of doing it if you have a crazy, happy, neurotic puppy. All right, do you have any other questions?
There's a 1-year-old dog question if you want.
I like the 1-year-old dog questions.
Okay.
My 1-year-old puppy. Nope, that's an adolescent adult dog now. My 1-year-old puppy sees a trigger and then lays down and refuses to move. Treats don't work. Trigger?
They didn't define what the trigger is.
Yeah,
Just
you
the
need to
trigger.
define what the trigger is, guys. I'll come back to you. Tell me what the trigger is. We're scrolling down.
That's it.
Tell me the trigger.
I don't know if they're still there.
Now it's gonna bug me. All right, you have anything else?
They can come
I'll
back
just
next
kind of
week.
make up a trigger if they don't give me one.
Nope, that's it.
All right, can you scroll back up to it? Do you remember the question?
Yeah, the 1-year-old puppy gets triggered,
And
sees
then
the
lays
trigger,
down,
lays
doesn't
down,
move.
doesn't move. Treats don't work. Shannon says trigger means a dog or a person.
Yeah, okay. I had a feeling. All right. So if I have that, one, I need to have better body blocking and spatial pressure skills. So we're probably on a harness, I'm guessing. My recommendation is probably check out slip leads, or you can do an easy walk, or you can do a gentle lead, or you can do a martingale. You can do something that gives you a little bit more leverage. You don't even have to necessarily go with an advanced tool like prongs or anything. You could probably do it with gentler tools like something that's just an easy neck collar or a front harness. And then when your dog is getting ready to lay down, if you're using easy walk, it's turn-ins. I don't allow him to lay down. I turn in and move into him. You can't wait until he's down. You're screwed. You're done. There's nothing you can do when he's already down. He's locked in. So you have to kind of see the dog or the person, and you have to be on top of it. You have to be below threshold, which basically means that when he's getting ready to do something, he's getting ready to stop, he's getting ready to lay down, it's right in that moment where I see him kind of make eye contact with the dog, turn into him using my hip, using my leg, I move in, which is going to turn his head and body away from the dog. I'm going to glue that leash across my hip, put one hand behind my back so it's in front, locked in behind my back, and I'm going to use my body. I'm going to use the weight of my body. Once I turn in and get in the opposite direction, let's go, and I'm going to start walking in that opposite direction. Now, I'm going to go a little fast because I need him to kind of follow through. If I try to go slow, like, come on, buddy, you can do it, he's just going to be like, you're so soft. I'm just going to lay down and wait for the dog to come up. You need to be pretty firm, and it may not work. Everything I'm saying still may not work. It depends on how pushy your dog is and how locked in they are. But if you have more like oomph, like, hey, let's go, move your butt, they're much more likely to move with you and start giving you a bit more focus. But now, that doesn't live in a bubble either. That's something I can practice at home. I can practice going up and down my walkway from my front door to the sidewalk. When my dog sees a dog coming down the block and they're still 300 feet away and it's just like a smell he picked up and he's kind of moving his head around, that's still below threshold. Because when I bring out food, he'll, oh, you got food? That's more valuable than that. They're too far away still. So I want to use my food to counter condition the distraction. I'm in the front yard. My dog looks around for the smell or sees a dog. Food to nose. Let's go. Step back and do not stop walking backwards until your dog goes, what? And looks at you and checks in. Good. Release the tension. Just relax your arm forward. Offer the food low enough that it's not a big effort for him to come get the food. It needs to be almost like below his chin so he can just lumber up, grab the food, and then I'll turn and still walk away from where the dog is. Then I'll casually turn back with food again. I want to use as much food as I can while the dog is below threshold, but your dog is below threshold. And now the dog is 200 feet away, which means the energy is a little bit higher, but because you started at 300 feet with food, he's still willing to give you focus. Now the dog's 100 feet, it's barely giving you focus. Go back inside the house while the dog passes. If you stay out there while the dog passes, you're going to lose all your leverage because he'll jump. You'll, puppy, come, no, he'll sit down. You lose leverage every time you say a command and it gets ignored. You repeat a command and it doesn't get followed. Go in the house for 30 seconds while that dog passes. Come right back out and do the training all over again. Or go far enough into your house with the door wide open so there's barely line of sight, but a little bit. And then pattern it inside the house until the dog passes by. And then maybe start walking out there. And as you get to the threshold of your house and he wants to bolt forward, that can be your new let's go workspace. The dog's 100 feet away. You walk to the front yard. You try it there again. I'm building the dog up inside my house, backyard, front yard, living room, hallway, walkway from the front door to the sidewalk, driveway from the garage to the alley, or from the garage to the sidewalk, all these spaces are somewhere I work before ever going out into the world. So if I don't have focus in all the spaces I just mentioned, where a dog is walking by the house, I'm in the front yard, that can be, hey, puppy, let's go. Good. Food, turn, walk inside. If I don't have that, you're not ready for the walks outside around other dogs. You can still do walks outside. It's either dogs pass by, your dog anchors, you don't even try to pull them up. You just kind of stand in front and resist them being able to get to the dog so you don't lose progress. But then when you get home, you're like, man, that dog training guy was right. Really need to work on this. That's how I build dogs up to the point of where you guys want them. All right. Well done, guys. Thank you for joining. It feels weird not having Bethany. She usually reins me in when I'm crazy. All right. Okay, guys. Have a good week. Bye. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.